if I had a nickel or even a penny for every time that a Christian said to me, let's stick to the gospel and let's stay out of politics, I would be a wealthy man. So let's think about this for a minute. A lot of times when we're thinking as Americans and American Christians about talking politics, we are talking in about a very narrow sense. We are thinking it means advocacy for one candidate over another. The ancient word, polis, from which we get, the whole idea of politics and politicians, is city, and had the idea of what good can I do for my city, for my community. And so to say the gospel or the Christian faith has nothing to do with asking the question, what good can I do? What kind of contribution can I make to my city is crazy. I mean, it's like imagine a pastor gets up and says, I'm going to read this ancient text called the Bible today. Now, I'm not going to show you at all how this relates to your marriage or business ethics or anything like that, because that's too controversial. We don't want to get into that. So I'm just going to read it and just tell you what it meant, years ago in the context, and you can kind of make your own applications accordingly. So to say the gospel or the Bible has nothing to say about politics is crazy. It's to say that it's an area where the gospel does not impinge on or have any relevance to. The gospel, as we've talked about, many of us, it relates to all of life. And so when we think about, and sometimes I'll say to friends, look, I can talk politics all day long without you knowing how I would vote or who I would vote for. Because we think of politics as I'm advocating for a certain person. Now that's a part of it, but that's just a part of it. We should be thinking comprehensively about what good do I want to do in my community? And yes, who are the people that I think are best aligned to do that I would want to support? But there's prior issues of thinking politically, of thinking as a Christian, like how does this relate and what kind of relevance, where does the gospel speak and how does it speak into these issues? So again, when we think about the idea that the gospel has, we're just going to stick to the gospel, we're going to preach the gospel and not stay out of politics, that's not really preaching the gospel, because it's like saying the gospel only relates to some of life, not all of life.